Hello there everyone, it is Tarot Tuesday, and as always, we gotta dive into the juiciness. Now, today's reading is gonna be a little bit different than last week's reading. Last week's reading was super heavy, and it was really setting the tone for the coming month because there's some massive energy happening right now. I know the last week when these final variables up top started coming out with Astera and Ashtar, and talking about abundance and how we were going to start overcoming and diving into our shadow and understanding things about the greaterness of our abilities, and then seeing how like this was a transformative holy place of kind of like you attaining abundant divinity. I definitely went through that. There's definitely lots of changes happening, success movements, crazy energy happening right now. So this week, all right, these are the three masters that are up top that are working with us. All right, you're gonna pick deck A, deck B, or deck C, and then you're gonna end up picking up rather that cloud or that cloud. All right, because they are going to be determining which energy you are feeling right now. I'm definitely feeling deck A for me and that cloud card over there. I'm going to give you guys a second. All right, are you guys ready? I also have the dice in my hand. So I'm going to roll. What I'm going to start off is for deck A. We're going to do it right now live. All right, some changes. Ooh, some changes. Some changes, girl. Okay. 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 We'll read this in just a little minute. All right, let's start off with deck A. We don't have the runes today because the runes said that they had nothing to really share with us today. They're kind of taking a break. We have Uranus energy and the moon. All right, so we're diving into some major change here when it comes to our inner environment, our subconscious realms. What kind of energy is running the show though? Movement. All right, so the move is pretty much telling us that it's time to seriously make a shift. There's things happening. You don't want to slow down at all, because if you do, it's just not going to satisfy you. All right, like there's when we make moves, we always have to be willing to make change. That's the major thing that you have to always think about when you're making a move. So where are you, and a move doesn't necessarily always mean that you have to be moving physically. It can mean that you're changing how you're living your lifestyle, maybe the way that you're doing things, being more real with yourself, looking at reality differently. What are your movements in this second right now, okay? Because the move tells us that you need to be careful about being fidgety with your actions. So even though we're making major movements right now, you have to be kind of careful. There might be a lot of things happening right now. You might be feeling like so much is happening. You just want to make sure everything gets taken care of. You got to make sure you temper yourself. Though it's not bad, your natural fortune is a bit off timing wise, okay? So maybe you're getting ahead of yourself, maybe you're running behind. The cause seems to be an impromptu remark or a whimsical action. Don't become a person who does nothing but over exaggerate. So don't get stuck in your head, or don't get stuck on what's happened. Keep your promises, communicate to the best of your ability. It's easy to become influenced by feelings, so think before you speak. So here's another one of those moments of like, oh wow, we need to really be paying attention to what we're saying. This is one of the things that has been coming out in our readings lately. And let's really dive into the first card we have here is the Wisdom card. So the Wisdom card is telling us that, as a hermit, obviously, what else do we need? We need wisdom. So we have 2 cards already telling us that there's this wisdom because there's this change coming on. You know, maybe you're getting ahead of yourself. Even though this is a good moment for moving and doing all these other things, you really, really need to just take a breath, kind of recenter yourself, find what it is that's going to make you feel most comfortable and run with that. So it's kind of like slowing down. I'm feeling that this group of energy of people, they've accessed some sort of magical energy, and it's starting to kind of like take over, and you really just kind of, your natural fortune might be off because you're feeling so chaotic, essentially is what the cards are saying. So you're going to have a little bit of trouble between home and work, because maybe you're going to be traveling really soon. You're going to be accessing, you know, some new opportunities. You might be really just stuck in your project, so you can't really focus a lot on your home life. It doesn't always mean that you're going to be traveling. It just means that maybe you're stuck in another realm focusing on other things. I definitely know that this last week, as Shay was here, I channeled so much. I created so much content, and like, I've been going into later nights just trying to get everything put out there. So I definitely feel what these cards are saying to me, but they're ultimately saying that in the midst of all this chaos, and if you pay attention to what's necessary and you stay on the mark, cultivation is key. You're gonna get what's yours. So don't you worry, all right? Everything seems chaotic, everything seems magical, but the main thing here is to align yourself with your own power, and then just go for it, okay? Just really don't focus on whatever's been limiting you, whatever is happening, all the action. Just really focus on moving forward. Now, the second deck, deck B, we have the similar energy, some sort of change, but this time we have a special card. This is the only deck in our reading today that is going to have a master card, and we're going to start right with that one. All right, we have Buddha, who is obviously telling us again, like he's been saying for a while, let go of attachment. It doesn't matter what you're being attached to, you gotta let go of that attachment because it's somehow starting to affect you. Now, amazingly, the float card is not a bad card. It's very similar to the move card. I've been doing a couple of tarot card readings lately, and these 2 cards have been coming out together. So the float card tells you liberation from restraint, freedom. If you make a steady effort, you will be freed from all pressures. When you don't make a steady effort, it's a sign of pending troubles. Be careful to pay attention to personal relationships, including romantic ones. When it comes to decisions concerning financial problems and work, you should follow the elders' advice instead of making an arbitrary decision. So that card again is telling you, okay, you're going through some sort of shift. And here again, we're being told, like, don't do anything too impulsively. And also, people in deck B, you're kind of like at this neutral point, which sometimes neutral points are really good, but other times it can be really negative for you. So you really want to start focusing on these ideas of perpetually moving. If you're comfortable, you're not always in movement, in flow. You have to make sure you keep moving and applying yourself so that you can definitely get what you're looking for. And particularly, if you've been working on emotional content for a while, then Buddha is telling you, okay, you've been working on letting go of attachments, keep doing that. And the float card is telling us that you're about to make it happen, all right? It's another internal battle based off of what the dice is telling us. Now, what is our first card that we're going to be looking at? Lovers. Ooh, it's again, here we have something talking about relationships. So it might not just always be about love relationships. It could be just about, you know, like our interpersonal relationships with colleagues and stuff like that. But there's something going on here. You have to stay positive when it comes to that relationship aspect, because things can really start crumbling if you're having troubles in this area. It's really a moment for you to find harmony by traveling within. Again, the cards have already said that to you, right? Like how you can start seeing how all these different cards are now really starting to align themselves in your reality with saying the same sentence over and over and over again, right? So go ahead and meditate inside of yourself. be aware of these attachment issues and start letting go of these attachment issues, because you're getting stuck in your mind. You're probably getting caught up in the bigger noise of it all. You really don't want to do that. You're better than that. So usually when this card comes up, Warrior of Vessels, it means that you're somebody who's been maybe going so fast, working so hard on yourself, trying to help other people. Maybe you're just somebody who's really mental. You've been really trying to like analyze something, and you're not really sure. You know, you're probably feeling fatigued, or you're not really sure what's going on to make the best decision. This is a moment for you to just keep meditating. If you're dealing with something in a love relationship, keep meditating. Stay strong. Don't say anything. Let go of attachment. You got this. This is an internal struggle that must be picked out of your system, okay? It must be deleted. Now, if you're in deck C, we see another subconscious trait, the moon. This moon is so powerful, you guys. You see how all three dice are pulling out the moon variable here. If you are in deck C and you pick deck C, well, here you're dealing with Venus energy. Venus energy is again with attraction, love, relationships. All right. And then we pull out the Miss card, which the Miss card is usually tied to some sort of expansion. Give me 2 seconds to find the exact. I want to be able to read you her mantra. Ascertain the situation and decide which direction you will take. You are given the chance to reconsider what to do. You will be able to fully analyze any problems as a result of your indecisiveness. Be calm. If you think simply and with honest feelings, the mist surrounding you will eventually turn to good weather. All right. So it's kind of like right now, if you've been feeling blocked and you don't really have any answers, like go ahead and just stop freaking out about it. You know what I mean? Just kind of let the mist clear, and then you'll be able to have a better answer, because right now there's something you're not capturing. Okay, so it really seems like deck B and deck C are people who are dealing right now with relationship issues. And if you listen to Queer Sky's podcast astrology reading that I was a guest star on for last month, you hear me say that some of you are going to start dealing with this, okay, because of the energy patterns that are going on. And some of us are not going to be dealing with it due to the Taurus energy. All right, so right now we're dealing with Taurus energy, and that's why for those of us that are really in alignment with ourselves, then we're in this business mode right here, and that's all we're really worried about, versus these people, deck B is more so working on themselves. Deck C is now kind of like focusing on love and relationships. Now, when we're talking about those loves and relationships, whoever it is that you're with is selfish. Get rid of them. Oh my. I mean, that's my opinion based off of the energy. There's some sort of level of selfishness, but at the same time, you might be the selfish one that's causing some sort of problem in your relationship. I'm not going to speak for both parties, because there's both parties and then there's the truth. So if there's some sort of discomfort in your relationship in any sense, maybe it's because you are being selfish, or the party is being selfish, or you're both being selfish. But ultimately, this is going to lead to something really negative, because 2 is positivity and it's coming up upside down. So there's not a lot of happiness here. 4 has to do with your internal wisdom. The Council Chief has to do with really going with what your intuition is telling you. If you've been told for a while to walk away from this relationship, then you need to walk away. If you've been told for a while that the problem in this relationship is you, because you haven't been putting your attention to certain aspects, then you need to go ahead and start diving into yourself. Either way, 9, change is coming. That cannot be avoided whatsoever. So you really got to pay attention here, because that's really important, okay? Like, there's a shift coming, and it's at least the shift is for the better. When the Thunderbird comes up upside down, the shift is going to be really rough. But at least the Thunderbird is telling us go with the flow, wait it out. The Mist is telling us to wait for things to clear out, but to really start looking in areas of selfishness. What is the selfish component here? And you need to start kind of like finding the greater answer within yourself. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at these dice right here. Now, when we look at the 5th, at the blue dice, we have Saturn in it. So Saturn, and this is, oh my God, that's crazy. all of them are moons. Like, I'm not even kidding. So Saturn, moon, all right? This whole entire week is going to be crazy subconscious. So Saturn is telling us at the throat chakra that we're going to be dealing with some sort of authenticity factor that we need to really deal with. The solar plexus is telling us that we're stepping into a dissension node again within our own mind, okay, or subconscious realm. So this dice right here is really telling us that you're going to feel some sort of mental fog during this time as things are happening, because it's just kind of like there's a massive shift of energy happening right now, and I definitely have been feeling it since like literally a couple days ago. I started feeling like really bogged. It's been hard for me to speak to people. It's been hard for me to keep my thoughts all together. I feel really jumbled. And yesterday there was a massive magnetic storm that was coming our way from the sun. So that's another thing that this week will be affecting us, because we pretty much got hit with all of it. And because of it, it's going to force us to dive into ourselves, deal with our authenticity. Then at our heart chakra, we have another dissension node, which is going to force us to deal with things from the past, things within our relationship. This is really, really, really critical. And then here we have our seventh chakra, which has to do with love and, again, subconscious. So each one had the moon as a variable, okay? And these two are the same. So doesn't matter who you are, this week is all about the subconscious self. You are going to be diving into, rather, answering why you don't love yourself, what's been going on. So, like, first of all, let me just give you an example. I picked deck A. I've been focusing a lot on temple, channeling so much stuff is there. Oh my god, how do I keep up with all of it and then still kind of like maintain my other goals? Lots of crazy stuff happening. So I have to kind of like detach from the craziness and just go in my own flow. Everything's going to work out when it's good and ready, right? Because everything's divine time. But then if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at these dice over here and they're telling me, okay, well, you're going to be dealing with your authenticity. Definitely. I have been diving into myself and understanding what is it that I really love to do. The other day I was sitting down, doing the Book of Ra overview, and I was just like, man, I love doing this. I love being able to sit down and read this book and share it with the temple and the community, and be able to share with them the things that it might take them a long time to visit for themselves and come to understand. And I really just expressed that to everyone I was talking to. Particularly my partner, I was just like, man, I just love doing it. And yesterday was one of the times where I was like, okay, I'm willing to totally shift everything that I'm doing to make that more my life, where I'm reviewing ancient texts, because that's just my passion. It's my hobby. Like, I want to be able to make other people's lives easier by making my life easier as well. And isn't that something that we're going to be reviewing later on in the Book of Ra, which is crazy? My mental structure has been descending because I've been fogged, but I haven't been descending in the sense of like, my mental self. I've been descending in the way that I have so many downloads and I can't focus on just one download in particular, and there's so much magic happening around me and I can feel it and it's all at my fingertips, and I'm just trying to stay like coherent on this dimensional platform, right? And then at my heart center, I definitely got some dissension because like Shay left and we were having such a heavy channeling moment when she was here, and my seventh chakra has definitely been focus on this love aspect of, hey, like, you love yourself, you love these other aspects of your life, keep doing that, right? So kind of think about how those dice over there relate with whatever reading you had down here, looking at those energies. Remember, we're going through this moment of rebirth right now. Each and every one of us, we're all in this ascension phase. Now, if you picked A or B, let's go ahead and figure out. A or B, not A or B. This was A, that was B. So I definitely picked A originally. The watery, so the watery is a really good card because it is tied to the element of water. Obviously, water is movement. Water is also tied to the third eye. Water is also tied to manifestation. So give me 2 seconds here. The watery says cooperation, the ability to open people's minds. Everyone trusts you because you are such an understanding person. The ability to govern things smoothly is very helpful work. Demonstrate great leadership. It will transform your environment into one gentle aura. Yeah, it definitely sounds like me. What about the people who chose the freeze? So the freeze is tied to ice. Very interesting how you rather have movement or you have the opposite polarity of movement, which is stagnation, by freezing it, right? So the freeze tells us establishment of basic power. It's okay to go at your own pace. There are also seasons of life. A time to grow would be like spring, and winter would be a time for gathering strength. Right now it seems to be your charging period for winter. Do not spread yourself out too thin. Just set out slowly and work on things. You must backpedal a bit in order to begin something new. In order to develop basic power, the first priority is to continuously investigate and train. So here we have two polarities of ascension that we're dealing with. We have water, we have ice. If you're somebody who was in any of these decks and you picked ice, well, okay, it's time for you to kind of like take a second back, and take a breather, analyze things, like give yourself a second to recharge. If you're in the watery section and you ended up picking up the watery and you combine it with either one of these, cooperation, the answer is going to be coming. If you ended up picking up the watery with the business section, great, amazing, you about to hit it, girl. If you ended up picking the ice with the business, well, you've been burning yourself out. It's time for you to take a break because you worked hard, and even though it may not seem like things are in alignment right now and working in your favor the way you want them to work, you got this. It's going to come out your way, okay? So we're going to dive into the last cloud card, which is the cloud card here, which is the sweet card. And the sweet card I believe the sweet card was visiting us last week as well or last month was one of the energies that we ended up stopping with when it came to the sweet. And the sweet is telling us these cloud cards can be sometimes very complex, and sometimes I really like to just read them right off the bat, especially with this mental fog that I have going on. Ooh. Okay, so the sweet. New love, popularity, appearance of dependent mind. A special person that softens your heart just by being near you. Your work elevation seems to rise quickly if you use your cheerfulness to the best of your ability. Your love life can be kept at a stable state for a while. It is a good value to communicate with a friend, but watch out because you tend to always depend on that a little bit too much. That definitely resonates with everything I'm doing. I am creating a YouTube channel, content. I'm creating these new courses for you guys. I am creating new material to follow through when it comes to, the Patreon. There's so much that's going on, and definitely I can feel momentum happening. People are starting to really come to me in all these strange ways. Maybe that's what's happening to you. It doesn't matter on what level you are in any of these decks, that main card right there still applies to you right now. And what's going to come out of that main card once we have gone through this week? 10 manifestation with the universe. Happy family. Say what? So I think happy family is pretty much self-explanatory, but it's also saying that just like any family structure, when you have children or you have something that you're birthing or you're growing or you're trying to cultivate, like a bonsai tree, the examples that you put into your family structure life, what you're trying to attain as your regular family structure, is heavily dependent. Just like the lovers, when two lovers come together and they start birthing a baby, their energies are critical for the being that's going to come through them, right? Their energies. And then when they decide to walk into having a family structure, then the energies that they put into raising their family, the philosophies, then structures how happy their family is going to operate, how they're going to be moving on forward into the future as an entire unit. This card, when it comes upright, it tells us that we have a lot of good things that are going to come out at the end of this. Even if it seems crazy, it seems difficult, everything's going to work out. So just keep focusing on the energies that you're putting into your objective right now, okay? Because that's the most important thing. As always, we still have those 3 cards pertaining to themselves, okay? Those master cards, and this goes for everyone. The main things that we're going to be focusing on is rebirthing the shadow, okay? And rebirthing particularly the working with the like fire elements. We're going to be working with Ashtar, who reminds us that your mantra should be, all that I seek is found in me. All right, so here, let's listen to the masters speak here. All that I seek is found in me. I open myself to the source of all that is. I am one with my highest self. That should be your mantra, okay? So let's say that together right now, okay? So take a deep breath. All that I seek is found in me. I open myself to the source of all that is. I am one with my higher self. All that I seek is found in me. I open myself to the source of all that is. I am one with my higher self. All that I seek is found in me. I open myself to the source of all that is. I am one with my higher self. All right, and as we start pulling that out of our shadow over here, we're going to start pulling it into abundance over here, because that's our end statement. Right now we've been transitioning our goals and creating new abundance like the phoenix. This is all some really powerful energy, you guys. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? I would love to hear how you feel about this reading. Please tell me how it resonates with you. If you haven't been following us on YouTube, go on Antojai Quantum Healing on YouTube, as we're going to be expanding more of the material. We've got so much material that's going to be coming out. We not only have the tarot card class that the lead researchers here ended up really funding heavily on that first month of September. We have another class coming in on Quantum Heart that I was able to record with Shay, and we're working on right now. So much good stuff is coming. Oh my God, I cannot wait to share so much. I apologize for the Law of One upload that was supposed to be posted last week. Something happened with the audio where it was just not working. I had uploaded it, there was a corrupted file, so then I had to record one of them, and I was able to save the other ones, so you might hear a little bit of a through the sound, because that was just me repairing the audio as much as possible. So I apologize that last week's book club was not on time, but it is going to be posted by the end of tonight, I promise you. And also check out the hypnosis episode that I had with Shay and Santo. That was for yesterday's post, which was also delayed due to the same technical difficulty. I posted it today and just to kind of like make up for yesterday's post. So definitely check that out. I love you so much, you guys. Like, I've had such a wonderful week, channeling so much stuff, especially when I sent you that massive wave of energy. So I just want to really share with you guys how much I truly appreciate each and every one of you for being here, for being part of the journey of my story, but also allowing me to just be a part of your story, because I love being here for you guys, and it means so much to me that we are growing as a community. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I'm loving you guys so much. You always reach out if you need anything. I hope this reading can guide you into the future. Let us create new earth today. Sending you so much love.